Hey everyone, welcome to the channel, and welcome to Richard's Review Roundup, where we quickfire look at the albums from May 2024. Just a laid back, quick set of thoughts on the new releases that have come out recently. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe for more, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. It's lovely to see you again. Let's get into it. First up, Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft. It's tough to know how to handle Billie Eilish albums, a woman so in love and gifted with the art that she makes and able to make a variety of music truly unique to her, yet constantly feeling the pressure of the industry, those around her, and trying to keep her personal life personal. From the accusations of queerbaiting to being forced to come out in a way that didn't feel like she was in control, it's now left to the music itself to do the real talking, and from that standpoint, Billie might have made her best album to date. Her core appeal and vocals are still very much present, but it's got a wealth of fresh experimentation and pushing the boundaries of her own sound. From the pulsating synth work on Chihiro and L'amour de ma vie, along with the auto-tune and beat that makes me think that Billie Eilish could be capable of making great hyperpop music. Or at the very least should absolutely consider working with Charli XCX. Or take the beautiful string arrangement on the outro of Skinny and also Blue. Lyrically, I love the vulnerable and confessional Birds of a Feather, and if that and Lunch aren't huge hits on the Billboard charts, then I have no idea what we're doing here. And of course, all of the flowers must once again go to Phineas, as this record just further cements him as one of the best producers currently working in the business. Able to perfectly balance and somehow manage everything that's going on, especially with how delicate Billie's voice can be. It's another triumphant album for Billie, but one where she is able to claim the narrative around her career back for her own, express her sexuality on her own terms, and ultimately, I think that's going to be far more important than when awards season rolls around. Up next, we have Adeem the Artist, Anniversary. Adeem returns with another set of tales, and it initially caught me off guard, taking a southern rock and blues approach that is taken at several points across the record. But it still has the gentleness and vulnerability that I always love from them, from the absolutely gorgeous Part and Parcel, the hopelessly and wonderfully romantic One Night Stand, and the angry and powerful Nightmare. There are also moments such as the heartbreaking Wounded Astronaut and the absolutely devastating Night Sweats. It's a wealth of emotions that'll have you crying one minute, laughing the next, and your jaw on the floor in absolute horror at the closer. But it's an utterly fantastic record that gives you more every spin, and another classic in what I expect will be a long line of wonderful music from Adeem. From Dua Lipa, Radical Optimism. It's good. It's definitely really good. It just makes me question a lot of things about how I look at music and its criticism, but in an I'm definitely thinking about this all way too much kind of way. I've sung Houdini's praises already on this channel. I love that song. Its darker synthwave touches made me wish for that kind of direction on this album, and it's not really taken that. Well, the song Falling Forever does as well, and that one might actually be one of Dua Lipa's best that she's ever done. But still, that's alright. I want to stress that moving forward that a band or artist's personal vision for their music is the most important thing. Not what I personally would want them to make. And make no mistake, this is a good album. It won't give you the bangers that future nostalgia will, more like chilling in the lounge area before the main event or the after party afterwards. Kevin Parker of Tame Impala has done a great job with handling production here. The bass work on everything sounds immaculate, and through its lush soundscapes and atmosphere, Dua Lipa sounds more reflective. And as the closer Happy For You plays out, it hits me that this is a record looking for self-affirmation and self-love more than anything. If you're looking for synthwave bangers where Kevin Parker is involved, allow me to point you in the direction of From Justice, Hyperdrama. What a great ride of a record this is, from blissful synthwave to pounding darkwave with experimental touches of dance and even 8-bit. But also kind of dreamy and weirdly funky when it comes to its soundscapes. You never know quite what to expect next, and that's what I like about this one the most. You're constantly on your toes and constantly compelled to keep engaged. It's largely instrumental as an album too, but I don't mind that when all the rest of the elements are so prominent and strong. And this is an absolutely wonderful futuristic trip that I highly recommend. Up next from Conan Gray, Found Heaven. Ooh, now this I like. Conan Gray takes a synthwave and 80s pop leaning pivot on this project. The influences are very, very much worn on the sleeve. Fans of Pet Shop Boys, Depeche Mode and early Kylie Minogue will probably get a lot out of this one. But with all the 80s worship that has happened over the last few years, some might think this is a cynical move doing this. But he's got Greg Kurstin and Max Martin among the list of his producers. So if you're going to go for that sound, get some of the biggest and best names in the business. And the synth work here is top notch. Everything you love about how the 80s sounded is here. The mixing can get a bit messy on some of the ballads, and some of the songs suffer from what some might label the TikTokification of modern music, i.e. they don't cross the 2.5 minute mark. Some of these songs are really crying out for a bridge, a breakdown or a solo to really give some of the songs a boost. Where's a saxophone solo when you need one, am I right? But ultimately there's enough to love and come back to that's warranted the change in direction and makes the album a success overall. Recommended listening. And speaking of Pet Shop Boys, from Pet Shop Boys, Nonetheless. Yeah, not a whole lot to say here. Do you like the Pet Shop Boys? Would you like them to militantly keep to their formula of infectious and affirming dance pop? Well, they've got you covered. Here's some more Pet Shop from the boys. Good times. From the Lemon Twigs, A Dream Is All We Know. Summer is just around the corner, and with A Dream Is All We Know, Lemon Twigs have made for us a proper summery record, albeit with influences from the Beatles, Beach Boys and Monkees worn very tightly on their sleeves. Its harmonies and instrumentation could be pulled straight from a forgotten 60s LP. It's a record for a slow cruise on a Sunday morning or staring out the window as the train you're on travels through the countryside. And while it's very, very twee and shimmery in places, it's breezy and brisk at just under 35 minutes. Really nice listen, probably one that will grow on you over the season, as it will me. Before we get to the rest of the reviews, just a quick note to ask you to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you really like what I'm doing here, my Patreon link is below and is just £1 a month if you'd like to support me and the channel. Up next from Tier, Battle Ballads. The 9th album here from the Faroese band. I'll be honest, that's a lot of music to get through. I haven't been able to get through all of it yet, so I don't know how this one matches up to the rest, but what I can tell you is Battle Ballads kicks a whole lot of ass. Fans of power metal with a symphonic and folk element are going to have a lot of fun here. From the bangers that are Dragons Never Die and Unwandered Ways, to the slower and wonderful instrumentation around Torkils Dottor. Apologies if I've got the pronunciation wrong on that one. And if the Faroese language barrier isn't an issue, and I hope it isn't, it can be heard at other points on the record too, and it's a beautiful sound to hear. It's a sweeping and gargantuan record, heavy on orchestral riffs and solos, but most of all, I don't think it's a record that takes itself too seriously and allows itself to have fun with its premise. And in the end, personally, that's where I have the most fun with metal, and why I really wanted to cover this. Really great listen. Next up, from Alien Ant Farm, Mantras. Alien Ant Farm. Alien Ant Farm.
Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
I was rocking jeans big enough to fit a CD player in the pockets and jamming out to movies the last time I heard them. First album in 9 years, and take some nostalgia goggles into this one. If you're craving some 2000s radio rock and post-grunge, you might find something here you like because it is very, very comfortable in that lane and has no interest in moving from it. Otherwise, you can probably safely skip this one. I didn't have a bad time with it, you just have to meet it halfway. On another note, unironically incredible album cover. It's inspiring me to make a top 10 albums covers of the year video. Next up, from Wade Bowen, Flyin. Well, it's about time I got to more than that hilarious songs about trucks from Wade Bowen. Sadly, there's no song that can match the humour from that one here, but fortunately, what you are going to get is a truly special mix of Texas country and some beautiful and heartbreaking songwriting, courtesy of Wade and his co-writers, that allows itself the time to be as uplifting as it is moving. Fantastic album from Wade, and I've once again got more back catalogue listening to get through. From Scotty Mcreery, Rise and Fall. It cannot be stressed enough just how happy I am to see Scotty Mcreery still going and consistently releasing music. Every release after American Idol seemed to have the impression they didn't really know what to do with Scotty, despite having an incredibly talented guy on Mcreery Nashville with a wealth of knowledge for the classics and further indie scene. But after leaving there, he's only ever gotten better with time, and with this, he might have made his best and most consistent record to date. Leaning far more into the 90s era Brooks and Dunn and Alan Jackson, particularly on Little More Gone and Can't Pass the Bar respectively. These both demonstrate more of a blues angle, and all of which is such a good fit for Scotty. And of course you're going to get some wonderfully sentimental moments too, from the gorgeous mandolin and shuffle on Hey Rose to the effortlessly love-struck nature of Slow Dance. Scotty has always had the charisma and charm to carry whatever style he chooses, and this is another joyful listen from him. Highly recommended. And lastly, from Frank Turner, Undefeated. An always welcome album from Frank Turner, especially as in the middle of recording this episode, a general election was called in my country. Most of these songs serve as reminders of things that need to be remembered, and for unity going forward. Either through anger or empathy, Frank always has a way of getting under your skin in a funny, profound, or moving way. It's all over the place as an album, but messy times call for mess itself. I wouldn't have Frank or the album any other way. Great listen. And that'll do it. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to like and subscribe, it would be a wonderful help to the channel. Leave comments about what you thought on these records, what you were listening to in May, anything else you'd like as it all helps the algorithm, or nothing at all. Your viewership here is more than enough and always appreciated. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.